Hello, daily Bible readers. This is your day 22 preview of our reading of the New Testament and of Genesis. Today we'll only be reading from the New Testament in Matthew chapter 25. And so here are three things that you'll want to know about Matthew chapter 25. The first thing you'll want to know is that this is the last recorded public teaching of Jesus prior to his crucifixion. We mentioned from Matthew chapter 23 and 24 that these events most likely occurred on the Tuesday prior to his arrest on that following Friday. And so you could consider these chapters to be the final instructions given to the disciples of Jesus Christ just before his death. Now, the second thing that you'll want to know about this chapter is that these final instructions that Jesus gives are a warning. They're a warning about the final day of judgment. Now, we saw that alluded to at the end of chapter 24, and I believe that that message continues here into chapter 25. So, in this chapter, Jesus is warning them and us by telling two more parables about the kingdom of heaven. And these two parables have very much the same meaning, much like the meaning of what we read at the end of chapter 24, that rather than trying to guess or to be overly concerned about what day the Lord will return, the servant of God is expected to be ready at all times, ready and working with whatever talents he's been given, so that when he arrives, he finds good and faithful servants that are ready for him, that have brought him a great return, and he will then therefore reward them for those efforts. Now, the third thing that you'll want to know about Matthew chapter 25 is in regard to the last section of this chapter. And rather than being a parable, though I guess it is of sorts, it's more really a preview of the final day of judgment. In this particular passage, he details a king that is dividing, he calls it the sheep from the goats. Some are going to his right hand and others to the left. And he's determining the division of these sheep and goats based off how well these servants, how well they served, how well they saw to the needs of others. Do they see to the needs of others as if they were seeing to the needs of the Lord himself? And that judgment that he makes is an eternal judgment, either an inheritance of the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world, verse 34, or an everlasting punishment in an eternal fire that was prepared for the devil and his angels. So much like chapter 24, the message of chapter 25 is to always be ready for the coming of the judgment of God and be found working and serving others when he does. These are my thoughts on Matthew chapter 25. I hope they've been helpful, and I pray that as you read God's word, you allow it to be a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path.